Hello, everyone. Hey. Oh, hello. Yes, first time I've ever had a response. I don't know if you heard it. My lovely wife sitting to my right. And when I said hello, she said hello back, and it threw me. It threw me. I was about to talk about the infinite regression, the terrors that lurk behind. Let's see, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, after number 8. Oh, watch out. You don't want to find out what's back here. And way back here, there's a scary little guy comes out and tells you the exact date and time that you'll die. Anyway, but aside from that, hey, look what it is. Yeah, don't be scared, because it's your favorite ongoing terrible idea. Yes, it's Riff and Craft with your host Rem Pemberton of the Clemson Pembertons. Now, last time we did this, I was well aware that the theme song was way too quiet, entirely too quiet. So this time I boosted it up, perhaps a bit too much. We'll find out. But I will play the theme song, and you can enjoy it as our Lord and Savior, Emmylou Harris, intended. Here we go.
This has always been the theme song. This has always been the theme. This has always been the theme song. This has always been the theme.
Yes, the cha, ladies and gentlemen. Life in the times of cha. It is what keeps me going. The cha is what makes it happen. Anyway, let's go into my theater. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Yes, it's, as apt a metaphor as you're bound to hear anywhere. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Oh, that's right. I turned down my volume, so I didn't want to be blasted out by the slightly louder theme song. As I leave that for you, because if I make it a little bit louder for you, it's actually much louder for me. Oh, look at my fun little pyramid. Yeah, I honestly don't think anyone but me has played on this server in quite some time. So that's fun to think about. Anyway, oh, that's right. I remember what I was going to do. I remember exactly what I was going to do. Because I had opened up, I had cleared out that little patch of water in my mine. And then upstairs, up and back a little bit, there was, appears to be a cave, a cavernous cave. The fun thing is, there's an abandoned mine shaft. Oh, I don't remember I had that in there. Boop. Oh yeah, that's right. I got blown up by a creeper not that long ago. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, sorry, kitty. I just rubbed your face in an odd way. I have the kitty in the kitty spot next to me, getting her wubs, the wubs that she so desperately wants. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna go up into that cavern. The fun thing about it is that if it's part of me is kind of hoping it's not at all connected with the cavern that I had found before, because that one was turned out to be, oh god, I'm hitting Q and not W. Anyway, turned out to be connected to everyone else's mine. So I came out in my daughter's mine at a certain point, and then came out in one of the other mines that somebody else had created. So yeah, few mines that it connects to. It's a rather large system, and because our houses are fairly close together, it was pretty easy to run into people's stuff. Okay, I'm going to make. I try not to make too many pickaxes because I don't want to take up too much of my inventory. Wait, which one is copper? Copper, come on. There it is. Knew I had it around here somewhere. I know I need to get signs. This time I want to do it with frames, which means that ideally I'm going to have to murder cows. But I'm still trying to build up my herd because I also need to murder cows so that back here somewhere I can put an enchanting table, surround it with bookshelves, and, have that lovely setup. So, um, okay, yeah, my armor's doing pretty well, I suppose. Oh, well, oh, I'm gonna need more sticks. There you go. Sorry. Should have turned my head the other way. This is like coughed on my wife there. I yeah, I didn't want to cough directly into the microphone. That just seemed rude, but then I did something arguably much ruder. Anyway, so yeah, there we go. Oh, and I'm gonna need a better sword. Durr. Yeah, let's get two of them. Oh, geez, now I can't put them back in the. I'll just put them over here. You hang out in this chest for a bit. And anyway, let's build us an S word. There it is, brand new S word, and we'll get rid of the old one by mending those together. And there you go. So not a very good use of mending. Not very practical, really. Oh goodness, there's probably jobbies up there now because I didn't clear this out. And oh god, there's skellies up there as well. Oh, well, we'll find out sooner or later. Okay. Yeah. Okay, they're back there. I'm gonna see if I can't have a better angle on them by coming out at a different spot. Oh, it's part of a ravine. Yeah. So, I did not find this spot as part of my earlier spelunking, obviously. I did run into a ravine. Probably this very same one, because I don't think I followed it to its conclusion. Its conclusione. Okay, there's going to be a skelly up here, because I can hear him. Ooh, what's that? Oh, it's just moss on the friggin' thing. Oh, God. Wait. Who else is shooting at me? Felt like was death coming from above. Yeah, that's one of the downsides of these friggin' ravines is that, sometimes you'll have a guy up here who could just... Ow. I don't want to put it on ore. But I do want to get this ore. Because as it turns out, the one thing that I did find out, because I was watching a video of somebody else, something that I said that I don't really do, which I don't really do that often. Barely watch my own. And you can look at my view counts to see that is accurate. Anyway, so I did watch something because I was trying to figure out the way that, because it seems like diamonds are spawning differently. Oh, where the freak are ye? Anyway, it seems like diamonds are spawning differently in the the latest version of the mine type craft, and I wanted to know if my mine needed to be moved. That's a good thing to know. Like, is my mine in the wrong place? Oh wait, here is stuff that I have encountered. Okay. Yeah. And if I go over there, I guess I can do over there type things. Hey, Jobby, do you want to be my friend? Why isn't he coming toward me? Come on, Jobby. This is weird. Normally, even when staring down water, like, did zombies get smarter? They didn't used to be this smart. Ooh, I just leveled up. Hooray. Hooray, hurrah. Anyway. But yeah, jobbies really didn't used to be that smart. Oh, I need more torches. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Not much, I can tell you that. Walking around no torches. Okay, let's take sticks. Let's take these. Hey-oh. Crafty, crafty. Boop. Badoop. And get some red to... Oh, oh, you crazy, crazy person. You just dove straight into lava. Like, you really wanted my brain bits. How do you know my brain bits are so delicious, huh? I mean, I like them, but I like them where they are, inside my head. You know? Who told you that they were edible? Yeah? Well, I am a little bit disappointed that it's just a ravine. Because I've found that, like, okay, like actual cave systems and actual, abandoned mines especially yield way more resources than ravines do. But also, this means that my mine is probably headed in this direction eventually. And I don't know that I can avoid it forever. Okay, we're gonna have to use some of our blocks, which is good because I don't like all these blocks necessarily. Okay, I guess, well, that's ceasing its ridiculous flow. I can come over here and mine this redstone. Don't really need redstone, but you know, it's not always about what you need. Sometimes it's about just, mining what's available. Wait, what? Is this? Oh, I guess it goes back up into abandoned mineshaft territory up there. And maybe I've been up there and maybe I haven't. I guess we'll find out. I did clear out quite a large section of abandoned mineshaft, so I have to start stair-stepping my way up there. Which, we'll see. We'll see what we find when we get up there. Anyway, so today we had our first D&D session of the new year, and boy, I've got a brand new crop of nerds, just fresh minted nerds, uh, hot off the press and ready for nerding. But seriously, like, a lot of the people who played D&D with us last year are not back. A bunch of them graduated and whatnot. And so, yeah, we got a whole bunch of new people. And it's funny because, like, there's always a tremendous interest. Like, people are always very excited to find out what the D&D is all about. And they have an awful lot of fun with it. And I have quite a bit of fun DMing it. So, anyway, and so yeah, DM'd my first session of the year today, and went pretty well. Through the kids, like I'm starting off like I'm trying to break down some of the bad habits. I'm gonna go this way for a bit. Oh, yeah, good call, me. Wait, I've already got torches up here, which means I've already been here. Eh? Oh, but maybe I haven't been that way. It's darkish. Oh, I haven't. Have nae. Nae been here. Which means, yeah, hooray me. But I have been that way, obviously. That's how torches work. Anyway, my wife is playing Terraria and she's killing a pig man. Just kidding. Wait, where'd that darkened bit go? I took a turn and all of a sudden I don't know. NEM. Oh my god. I lost it. Dingus. So I'm just gonna slowly descend in this cobweb. Ugh. I'm very disappointed with myself. Okay. I really am. Like, I'm just... Okay, wait. Oh, here we go. It was the bat. Thank you, friendly bat. You helped me find my way. Yeah, I've been collecting the rail so that, I can do something stupid with it. Because I wouldn't do something useful with it. No, that's not my style. It's not how I play. You've seen me play. It's got to be stupid. It's got to be pointless. Anyway, well, that's pretty much a dead end. I'm just going to go this way for a bit and see if I run into anything. Oh, ran into some iron. It's not entirely a loss. I find that iron deposits in abandoned mine shafts are much larger. Get a lot more out of it. That's either a terrifying pigman or a truck that won't start.
It was the Eye of Cthulhu.
Oh, it was the Eye of Cthulhu,
And I won.
And yeah, and she won, and he lost. And he sounded like a pigman, and she sounded like a hero. Okay, well I was hoping I would just like knock a few blocks and connect to another bit. But obviously it did not do that at all. So I found a little bit, like I was all excited. I'm like, ooh, undiscovered country. It's going to be Star Trek 6 up in here. And then I finally got up there and it weren't Star Trek 6 at all. Oh, and this is my daughter's mine. See, this is what I'm talking about. This comes out right here in her mind. Well, I guess I was hoping to, like, show you some very exciting, me going through a mine, and oh, you butt. Can't believe you did that to me, you butthole. Anyway. Yes, I hear you, but I'm not going to feed you. I'm cruel like that. One of these times I'm going to have to go into the nether, because I have not been in the nether in this world. I haven't been in the nether since the update. I haven't been in the nether in a very, very long time. It's been several updates that I haven't been in the nether for. Because, generally speaking, I don't like the nether. Hey, you crazy yamas. Hey, you crazy cows. Hey, you crazy axolotl. Okay. You're all crazy, and I like you. That's what I like about you. You hold me tight. That's my favorite part of that song, by the way. What I like about you, by the Romantics, is the way that he says tight. It's hilarious. It's what I like about you. You hold me tight. Like, go listen to that song and tell me that I'm not wrong about the way that he says tight. It's, this is a nice power pop song. It just is well done. Congratulations to the band. And, yeah, many happy returns on their tight. Like, it's so good. Yeah, actually, I'm going to use this. Well, yeah. For such a short venture into undiscovered territory, I did pick up a fair bit of iron. Oh, and I guess I can throw the jobby meat into the furnace. Yeah, it's funny. When I first started playing Minecraft, I was so terrified of dying, and I made it really far. Made it really, really far without dying at all. And
Didn't you die from a slime?
I did. Yeah, my wife just reminded me that my first death, I was down in my mine and a slime appeared. I was AFK. Was away from keyboard, and a slime, not a big slime, the little single block, easy to kill slimes. It killed me, and yeah, so it yeah, that's how I got over my fear of dying. How I learned to stop worrying and love the bomb. Wait. Ooh, 61 a ye. I should actually make more of the bread. So I'm running a bit low. There we go. I mean, I'm not really running low, but I'm used to running much higher. Oh, come on. Psh. My torch throwing skills leave something to be desired. Anyway, yeah, redstone's this'n. And random crap is this'n. And I really need to sort it, and I really got some leather. I need to just go around and kill random cows is what I need to do. Because everybody's got their cow pens now. Oh, don't I have a iron rut? Yes, I do have a large chest for rut of iron. Do have that. So that's my wheat. And okay. Gonna make myself a couple sets of shears. I call these my Paul shears. I would call them my hairy shears, but it would have to be the person doing it. So my character would have to be hairy, and I would be a hairy shearer. Oh man, you have to get up pretty early in the morning to come up with worse puns than those. Anyway. I don't even know if I want to go back in there, like, to put this. I do, because I'm gonna collect a lot of pumpkins, and then I'm gonna, come on. There you go, boy. There it is. Yeah. So let's put the iron back where the iron goes. Let's put the slime back where the iron goes. Let's put the gravel and the deep slate back where the iron goes. And then we'll be on our way. We'll go and kill some pumpkins. Turn them into jacks of lantern. Yeah. There we go. On our way. From misery to happiness today. Uh-huh. We're on our way. From misery to happiness today. Uh-huh. Yeah, see, that's how I got a Proclaimers song stuck in my wife's head. And also, if you are the sort of person who only knows the song 500 Miles from the Proclaimers, I pity you. I pity you because your life makes me sad. There's so much more to the Proclaimers than I'm going to be parentheses 500 miles. I mean, first of all, arguably not even the best song on Sunshine on Leith. Because, Gene is on there, first of all. Cap in Hand is on there. I can tell the meaning of a word like serene. I got some O grades when I was 16. I can tell the difference between margarine and butter. I can say... No, O grades.
What is that?
Okay. We're going to have to look up these lyrics now. That's what's going to happen here. I'm going to go up my tower so that I'm not being killed when it's nighttime after I, have looked this up. But, yeah. It's the, how... We're going to find that is not... margarine and butter. I can say Saskatchewan without starting to stutter. I can understand why we let someone else rule our lives. Oh, right. Anyway, so we're going to look up Cap in Hand lyrics. Okay. Here we go. Claimers, Cap in Hand lyrics. Okay, yeah, got some O grades. O grades. That means it's what it says. I know it sounds like Oakley's because in America we don't have it, but like, the thing is that like, the way that the school system works is different than the way that it works here. So, yeah, an O grade is an ordinary grade, meaning that well, no, it means it's a certification. It's like you've reached, it's your levels of grades that you have attained, and that in turn, tells you what you're qualified for as you move on into university and whatnot. So he got some O grades when he was 16. All the other lyrics we've got correct. I know. I mean, they could save a lot of points by signing Hibbs goalie. I had to look at, like, I was reading the liner notes to learn these lyrics when I was younger. Is true, because there we go. Now I can sleep. Um, yeah, read the liner notes and did not didn't know what O grades were. Had no idea. Um, But yeah, it's very similar. Like, actually, a good. If you're an American and you're like, what the crap even is this? Think about Hogwarts. It's actually much more similar to Hogwarts than it is to any American educational system. How they get their ordinary wizarding levels, that is essentially what the that's the equivalent. So your O grades are equivalent to your owls in the world of Harry Potter. Your OWLs, your ordinary wizarding levels. So like if you scored very well in a particular area, then you could continue study in that area at a higher level. And that's how that works. So it's about what you're qualified for. Obviously, like in the world of Harry Potter, up to a certain point, regardless of whether or not you're any good at potions, you've got to take potions because every wizard needs to know potions. And
Choosing the major.
yes, it's a little bit like choosing your major, except for you have some of your choices limited by your proficiencies on these. It's determined by your performance in classes, determined by tests. And so yeah. Anyway, he got O grades when he was 16. So yeah, but they beg for a piece of what's already theirs, and you know, it's funny because I've been watching a lot of 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown because Sean Locke just died, and Sean Locke, if you don't know him, was a brilliant comedian. And he spent a lot of time on 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. Wait, these fish are very excited. Is there a... Oh, there's not. Yeah, the axolotls will hunt the fish. And that's, the first axolotl I saw in game. I was like, oh, it's because he's hunting the fish. Anyway. But yeah, John Richardson... who is also on 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. He was talking about, like, they had a question about, like, would you rather be in a band or would you rather be a solo performing artist? And people were talking about, like, oh, well, being in a band, that's kind of the idea. Interestingly, I think the men were more likely to say they wanted to be in a band, and the women were more likely to say they wanted to be a solo artist. Anyway, so yeah, John Richardson said he would prefer to be in not just in a band, but he would prefer to be in the Proclaimers. And when Jimmy Carr asked him why, he said, well, first of all, they're brilliant, which they are. Like, if you are unaware of the extended catalog of the Proclaimers, you are missing out on some lovely, lovely music. And yeah. And John Richardson was saying, it's like, well, it's brilliant. You got these two guys who just, they've got a song where just both of them are just screaming Gene by the end, which they are, uh, which is funny because that song is about, a girl who allowed the narrator of the song to have his first sexual experiences with her. And so, it's kind of, this is one of those things where it's like, to a certain extent, uh, boys are going to think back fondly and be like, oh, you let me have first sexual experiences with you, huh? You know, so there's a little bit of a like, because that doesn't seem like the world's most romantic idea, but like the song really does seem to come from a place of true gratitude, which is fun. It's a really fun song, and if you haven't heard it, you're missing out. And they really are, by the end of the song, just screaming Gene's name. Both of them. The Proclaimers are two brothers, um, two Scottish brothers, and they are amazing. Anyway, so the fun thing is that John Richardson was saying like, well, the first thing I would have to do is convince them that I'm not British because they're very angry at the British, and this is true, because you know, um, yeah, if you are a part of the United Kingdom but are not specifically British, you might be harboring some resentment. It's part of the reason why, like, India gets all jazzed up to beat, like, when India's playing cricket, there are two teams they really want to beat. One of them is Pakistan, and that's due to long-standing political and cultural strife, uh, which predates the British Empire coming in. But also they want to beat the British at their own game, and there's really a tremendous amount of satisfaction for former British uh, the former holdings of the British Empire when they beat the British at their own games, and so yeah, they just love beating the British at cricket. Well, the Scottish, and I don't like. I honestly have no idea how the Welsh feel. But I would be very surprised if they were not harboring some resentment, um, because they are their own thing, with their own ridiculously difficult to pronounce and spell language and their abnormally large town names and whatnot. I would be surprised if they didn't harbor some form of resentment against the British. Anyway, so yeah. Ta-da. But yeah, so the Proclaimers do have a number of songs which are like, really, like Cap in Hand is like really sticking it to the British. Like, oh, why are we begging for what we already own? We already do have our own country. Why are we asking you for permission to have it? It's, yeah. And who knows in this, post Brexit world if a lot of because like, they're really mucking this up. Nobody took time to think about Ireland and Northern Ireland. I mean, for crying out loud, like, how long did it take to get the relative, and emphasis on relative, the relatively peaceful situation that they've enjoyed since they joined the EU, where, Ireland and Northern Ireland were both able to feel like, hey, we're part of something bigger than just us, and so we don't have to get so petty with our own internal strife. And they were able to, set it aside for a bit. But as soon as it becomes an issue, because Northern Ireland needing, because they can't move imports and exports into their country without going through Ireland. And if Ireland was part of the EU, then all of the I'm explaining something that anybody who pays attention already knows. It's tariffs and whatnot. Like if one of you is a British part of the United Kingdom and the other is part of the EU, then to move just for simple trade purposes, all of a sudden you've introduced new taxes. Whereas if you're all just a part of the EU, the taxes remain the same for all of you, and you don't have to, put new tariffs on things coming through that normally were, coming through already. So, a lot of the strife between the Irish and Northern Irish was because they were able to reach mutually agreeable trade deals under the EU. It made it so that a lot of the, because let's agree to this. It is religious strife. It's Catholics and Protestants. Um, it's Celtic and Rovers, and that's what it comes down to. And and so, like, when you have the opportunity to make it not terrible, you have the opportunity to have a positive type impact, then you take it and you keep things the way they are, and you don't let some shaggy-haired doofus named Boris Johnson talk you into the worst idea in the world simply because it might benefit him or some of his cronies, or he's just a xenophobe who has issue. I don't know what Boris Johnson's deal is. Quite frankly, I've been appalled at this entire this entire business, the rebuilding up of nationalism the world over. It's terrible. Remember what happened the last time we all got super invested in nationalism? Because Trump was coming out and saying, like, oh, why are we so afraid of nationalism? And like, nationalism's a good thing. We need to have national pride. And it's like, you idiot. Didn't you pay attention in history class, or did you pay a kid to take that for you too? Anyway, sorry. I'm sitting here holding a beverage, which is why my mouse is not moving. But yeah, the guy's thick. He's dumb. And his counterpart in Great Britain is no better. Actually, some people have posed the idea that he's a certain type of special crafty dumb, where he plays dumb, but is actually quite crafty, which is, like, honestly, there are people who think that that's what Trump is. And if he really is, if he's been playing the rest of us for fools, then he's more evil and conniving than I was even willing to give him credit for, quite honestly. Anyway, terrible. Let's get off politics for a minute. This is not politics. This is Riff and Craft with Rem Pemberton. I'm your host, Rem Pemberton. You know me. We've met. What a delicious beverage that is. Fills me with Scottish pride. Actually is a Scottish beverage. Well, Scottish style beverage. I have had actual Scottish beverages before, and you know what? Like, I prefer this one, if I'm being completely honest. And I know that sounds like a very, like, oh, you don't really know what you're doing, do you? But, like, no, I do a little bit. I do know what I'm doing a little bit. Oh, goodness. You should see this kitty. When she gets her tummy rubs, she'll like turn herself inside out to just, really show you where on that tummy she wants you to get. She's a very silly goose. And it's funny because like she will not, she doesn't want you to hold her. She doesn't want to be picked up. She doesn't want to be on your lap. She doesn't want to be in your arms. None of that. She wants to be next to you. Oh, that's right. And he's going to put all these things in the incinerator because I'm running out of space. She wants to be next to you and have you rub her the way that she wants. That's her whole deal. That is what brings her the greatest amount of kitty happiness. And yeah, she derives quite a bit of pleasure from it. Can't say that I blame her. Honestly, like, if I was able to, just lay in a hammock all day and occasionally tell someone, like, rub me, like, I think I could get used to that. Anyway, silly kitties. Oh yeah, didn't talk enough about D&D. So here's what we did today. Yeah, I am combining. I was combining two. Combining two of my two different older campaigns. One of them was mine. One of them was someone else's. And yeah, the fun thing is that they all have, everybody's built up these characters, and kids are very excited. They've just been dying to play, and so now we're finally playing, and we do the standard first day of the campaign stuff, where kids are able to introduce their characters, say this is my character, my race, my class, and my any interesting attributes that you need to know about my character. And yeah, it that's always necessary stuff. Sometimes it can seem a bit dull, but it is very important for everybody to have a general sense of who's in the party, and who's there, who's playing, what are we doing, and get a sense for the dynamics of the party. Who are we with, and what do they bring, and what can I bring, and how can we combine together to take on this quest that we're taking on. So I set up the world. It is a world in which a dark lord has just fallen. He's been overthrown, but his followers are still everywhere, and they're still oppressing people, and there's a power vacuum in the land, and so there are people who are trying to see. Remember when I was complaining, like, oh, the pumpkins aren't growing fast enough, and then every time I turn around, it's like, yeah, more pumpkins. Oh, did I? Nope, there weren't actually when I turned around more pumpkins. But there will be. Let's carve some watermelon lanterns. What? No watermelon lanterns. Anyway. Regardless. Let's just get some watermelon. It's funny, I don't actually like watermelon in real life. I know. People get very annoyed with you when you admit that you don't like watermelon in real life. People just assume the worst about you. Like, what? But it's a fruit. And it's a yummy one. What's wrong with you? I don't know. I had some bad experiences with it as a kid, I guess. That honestly, for most people and their weird food things, what it all comes down to, more often than not, is that they had some experience with it as a kid. And, it's part of the reason why, like, I don't eat eggs. I do not eat eggs. And that particular little obsession goes way deeper than anyone is willing to put up with. I mean, my wife is continually like, ugh, this guy and his ridiculous foodstuffs. Because she was very much an adventurous eater, and I am not. I am very much the opposite of adventurous eater. Um, I'm that guy who is like just the worst. Like I honestly, I can eat peanut butter sandwiches every day for the rest of my life and be perfectly happy, more than happy, insanely happy, just eating them PBJs. And yeah, my wife is like, but she's always like, ooh, new restaurant, let's go find out. And I'm always like, yeah, but will they have that thing I like? The one that I order all the time from the place that we already know we like. I'm like that guy. And so, yeah, some of you are already, I hear the judgment. I feel it on the other side of the screen. You're like, oh, this freaking guy. Hate that guy. And you know what? I absorb your hate. I absorb your hate. I feed off your hate. It's what strengthens me. As long as you send me hate, I receive your hate, and it gives me power. Anyway, so yeah, we're playing D&D. Everyone got the chance to introduce themselves. They arrived, in this land where the Dark Lord has just fallen. They all arrived in this small port city, and it's a lighthouse city. And they were introduced to a mysterious personage, which it's funny. The first time I did the whole mysterious personage thing, people were immediately like, yeah, I trust him. Like almost without question, just like, yeah, he seems good. As a good guy. He's my friend, and I didn't mean for him to be anything but, I hadn't thought out a scenario in which he wouldn't be their friend. And so, let's see. So if I take half of these and half of those, put them together, and what do you get? Bibbidi bobbidi boo. So I need farty fart harches. So I'm going to put, let's do, so give me boop badoop and shibbity boo. And put my tarches back, and then we'll work on, dingus. You, oh Magoo, you did it again. like a smart guy. And see, look at how quickly my pumpkins are coming back. Anyway, I'm going to go chop some lumber because I'm going to need some wood blocks so that I can build up my scaffolding. I think they actually have scaffolding as something that you can build now, which, that would be very helpful. But I don't know how to make it, and I don't want to bother to pause in the middle of an episode to find out. And let's just do it the hard way. Yeah? Are we agreed? Hard way? Everyone? Hard way? Okay. Put a hand in if you want to go the hard way. Okay, hands in, everybody. Go for the way that's not the easy one. Wait, you thought I was just going to say go hard way? Oh, that's why you sounded like an idiot. Like you gotta think ahead. Gotta follow what the guy who's starting the cheer is doing. half the point. Follow me. I'm starting the cheer, so clearly I'm in charge. Anyway, I think that's good. I don't think that'll decompose any because it's attached to the other tree. Anyway, fast leaf decay. That is something that I wish I had in this world. Oh, empty. So, anyway, I love my incinerators. This is one of my favorite things to do in Minecraft is build a big old incinerator. Well, it's not that big, but it's an incinerator. I could build a bigger one if I wanted to. I could build a double-barreled incinerator. Oh, maybe that's something to think about for a future build. You know, and I've used also the same incinerator design because there's also the what's it? Not the dropper, but the you know, the other one that looks like a, you know, an oven with a face on it. You know what I'm talking about. The other bit of Minecraft block that looks like an oven with a face on it. Don't make me sound more ridiculous than I already sound. Thank you very much. Anyway, the one where when you're crafting it, you need to use a bow. Does that ring any bells? Anyway, but it actually shoots things out rather than just dropping them. It shoots them out with a bit of mustard, bit of velocity on it. So yeah, you can actually make, you put a pressure plate, have that be the switch, and then just wire that bad boy up, and all of a sudden it becomes a you fill it full of arrows and it just becomes a Gatling gun. You fill it full of all sorts of things and it'll just spew it out at high speeds. Found arrows are the best. But it's very one directional, there's a way to put such a thing on wheels, then it would be very helpful. Because I've seen, TNT cannons and stuff, and some of those builds are just very, it works, but it's very clunky, and the whole, God, what's that block called? Dispenser? I don't know. Whatever it is, the one that's got a bow in it, so that instead of, and it's got the mouth that's like, oh, instead of the smiley face mouth, which is what a dropper has. Anyway, so yeah, that one, it's, yeah, it'll shoot things out at a decent rate of speed. And I've had it kill mobs before, I had an automatic mob spawner killer, and if you could figure out a way to sluice all the arrows from skeletons that you kill and then collect them in a chest and then have that chest go right back into the system, you could have a perpetual XP machine. That sounds like a build for somebody who builds more of that kind of stuff. You see me building, I'm just like do, doing my little boring old pumpkin wall build, just building up these here pumpkin walls. Yep, like you do, just like Grandpa made pumpkin walls. There's a lot of pride in a pumpkin wall, son. You gotta learn to craft a pumpkin wall the old-fashioned way, like our ancestors used to. They just, carved their pumpkin houses right out there in the wilderness, and it's a craft which, if you master it, you'll always have a job, son. You always need people to craft with pumpkins, with jack-o'-lanterns. Actually, it's hilarious because in real life, we are terrible at getting our Halloween pumpkins First of all, getting them carved last year, like, okay, COVID took such a toll on us. You know how when you're depressed, you just don't want to do stuff. It's like that Zoloft commercial where it's like, hey, are you not able to do the things that you normally enjoy? It's like, yeah, I'm not. Thanks, depression. This is all I needed in my life is you coming around telling me like, hey, you don't enjoy stuff that you used to enjoy anymore. Yeah, I know, depression. It's your stupid fault. Oh, crap. Wait, hold up. Oh, that is a... Okay. Okay. Well, let's switch this out for the not lit ones. And we shall proceed. Anyway, so yeah, COVID made us all depressed. You know, it made everyone in America situationally depressed. And you would think that it would make us have more empathy, but no, we're raging on a political level like we never have before. People are dumber and worse than they've ever been. They're worse to each other, less well informed because they're, you know, it's through no fault of, well, it's through partial fault of their own. Let's say it that way. You know, the internet is giving them a bubble and they make no concerted effort to get outside their bubble because they revel in their own cognitive biases. And that's where we are, is people saying, oh, but my cognitive biases are actually true, you know, and yours are false. Like, yes, I can engage in confirmation bias. I can take my cognitive dissonance and just shove it aside and pretend it's not there. But yours, oh, yours are the real problem. And this is where we are in 2021. You know, and people are, you know, they got their internet bubble where it's like, oh, only the political views that I hold are valid and worth having. And that's how you get people who are like, no, definitely Trump won the election and he's coming back. He's going to reclaim the White House. And it's like, okay, every single date that people have been claiming that he would reclaim, that he would come to power. And it's funny because, like, I take no joy in this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I take no joy in seeing my countrymen be bamboozled on this level. I'll just take the fall damage. Just need to go to this bed. But yeah, my countrymen have been bamboozled. They have been, they've had their confidence betrayed by you know, a con man, one of the best. I mean, best slash worst slash best again con men that I've ever seen. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see, you know. And I have students who they themselves have been taken in by some of these things. I have there are you know, there are teachers who've been taken in. There are all sorts of people who have really been affected by this new era of political stupidity. And it, you know, they are not the ones creating this state of affairs. Like, you know, I say it all the time. I am part of the 7% of Americans who actually read, you know, cover to cover, the Mueller report. I read it, I marked it up, I made sure I understood what I was reading, you know, and why am I having a harder time planting blocks? Like, normally, I don't have such a hard time jump planting. Like, my timing is off or something, or there's some sort of lag that's happening. Anyway, I might need to restart the server. Nobody else is on, so might not be a bad idea. Anyway, but yeah, I remember watching, there was the predicted day that Trump would return and that he would retake his place, as the rightful president of the United States. So why wasn't I doing it that way the whole time? Anyway, and this is, people really believed this. They believed that he was coming back. They believed in the things that he had told them. And I understand why. He promised to take these people in who felt forgotten, who felt disenfranchised by the system for various reasons, and I get it. His message gave them an identity, and it told them like, hey, these are people who, by and large, nobody's walking around telling them like, hey, you're smart, you're not dumb, you're smart. These are the kids who, like, I don't want to be stereotypical of this. I don't want to generalize, because there are some legitimately very intelligent people that are part of this movement, and that's a pity as well, because ultimately they've all been bamboozled and swindled and hornswoggled and other fun words that we don't get to use very much in the English language, but exist for our English usage and pleasure. Yeah. And, I remember watching these women who were crying on the day that, on the day of the inauguration, of Biden's inauguration. That was the first day that they were, that they believed that Trump was biding his time, because Q, from QAnon, which, that's an unfortunate combination of terrible internet conspiracies that have been foisted upon people who quite frankly, don't have the time, energy, or critical thinking skills to really penetrate and to really investigate on a level that would there we go, that would help them to really find the truth of the matter. They think they have the truth of the matter. They really do. And I don't blame the people who have followed it as much as I blame the people who have created it, more than likely knowing that, like, the Q claims to be this secret insider with all this secret insider knowledge, and whoever that is, they on some level must know that they are lying, that they're full of it, that they don't have the insider status that they say they have, that they don't have the secret knowledge that they've been telling people that they have. And people have been taken in by this, and these women on the day of the inauguration who were so excited because the people that they've been told, they're fellow countrymen, by the way. Like, here's the biggest problem with all of this nonsense is that we are countrymen. We are comrades, which, quite frankly, people who are buying into these conspiracies and things would be like, you use the term comrades, you dirty commie. I'm like, no, comrades is not specifically, like, I know that the term has been co-opted by communism, but like, it means that we're, basically family. We are of the same country. We have the same lives, the same experiences. We may view things differently, but we're ultimately the same. When the Olympics roll around, we cheer for the same athletes, the same team, because we are the same. And anyway, so these women who really and truly believed that, they've been taken in to believe that, like, the Nancy Pelosi's of the world aren't just people with a different political worldview, but are very much, and in a very real way, the enemy that must be stopped, the enemy that must be destroyed. And they really and truly believed that on Inauguration Day, that Trump was going to let it get started, and then he was going to march in, the military was going to back him up, that they would arrest the traitors, the vile betrayers of our nation, Biden and Harris and Pelosi, and all the others, Chuck Schumer, all of these terrible, terrible people. What are in their eyes terrible people? And their fellow countrymen who they've been taught to believe are terrible people. Now, granted, I have very, very negative views of Mitch McConnell. I do not like that man. I think he fights dirty, and I think he is just a soulless partisan hack. I really do. I really believe that. But I also believe that it's entirely possible that I have not given Mitch McConnell the benefit of the doubt because of my own political leanings, which, by the way, are not what you think they are. My political leanings are much more complicated. It's not that I'm walking around saying, boy, these Democrats are the way to go, like, I don't feel that way because I'm not dim. I've seen what Democrats do. They're like the most wildly ineffective political party this nation has ever seen. Like, we've never really had a political party with such longevity and such a long track record of just complete ineptitude. It's it's a strange thing to think about. Anyway, so yeah, my politics are not, hold up. Yes, I have been getting sick, and it really bothers me. I don't want to be sick. Anyway, come on, taters. Cut them up, boil them, cook them in a stew. Taters. Precious. Oh, I need to plant back. Durr. I'm like, wow, I got a whole lot of potatoes out of that. Yeah, I did, but I also need to plant back. Come on, doofus. Honestly, I need to just start, instead of bread, I need to just start eating baked potatoes. Doop 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 doop. I'll come and get my wheat on the morrow, because it's almost nighttime. Anyway, but yeah, these women, I never finished this thought. They really truly believed that they would see all of their political enemies meet their deserved end, because these people are the enemy. They're not just Americans who have a different point of view. They are the enemy, and they're trying to destroy our way of life. And they really believe this, and it's unfortunate that they believe this. But it's not just unfortunate, it is according to plan for someone or someone's thought of the idea of, like, let's make people hate each other. And if you've read the Mueller report like I have, you know that Russia, very specifically, and I know that Republicans roll their eyes when anyone with a left of far right leaning says the very word Russia, they just go, oh, how many millions of dollars did we spend to find out that it wasn't even Russia? Well, it was Russia. Like, it demonstrably was Russia in the sense that Russia did interfere in the 2016 election. They figured they would benefit more from a Trump presidency than from a Clinton presidency. And by the way, I do not like the Clinton family. I don't. Never have. And not a big Hillary fan. You're not going to catch me being like, oh, but Hillary was such a great choice in the 2016 election. Quite frankly, 2016, I worry about anyone who came out of that booth feeling great about their choices. Because if you voted Trump, like, what? I love what Bo Burnham said about it. He just said, it's Donald Trump, though. But it's we know him. We know what he's like. It's Donald Trump, and he has been in the public eye for a long time. And I hated him. I hated everything the man stood for. Before, he stood for greed. He stood for, entitlement. He stood for, personal, building yourself up at the expense of others. Like, always stood for these kinds of things. And I don't stand for any of those things. And so I've always had a problem with Trump as a person. I don't like businessmen in general. I find that businessmen will do this annoying Stephen Covey thing where they'll use your name a lot. They'll be like, hey, John, you know what I'm talking about, John. John, you're my friend, John. John, because we're pals, you're going to give me a large loan, John. Right, John? It's that kind of like, it's manipulation of shallow personal relationships in order to benefit oneself at the expense of others. And I just think that is so detestable. And people will be like, oh, what's wrong with being rich? And like, being rich in and of itself, I mean, to a point. I mean, I think the idea of billionaires is ridiculous. Like, just utterly ridiculous. Do you realize that there are people, accountants, who wake up every morning and are like, well, let's try and spend John D. Rockefeller's money that was made in the 1920s, a long frick time ago this money was made. And there are accountants whose every waking day is, how do we spend this guy's money? Because they if you ever see something like, oh, this program was made possible by the John D. Rockefeller Foundation, that's who's spending the money. That's what it's getting spent on. Public programs and such. And the fun thing about it is that, they still haven't run out of money. John D. Rockefeller has been dead for a long, long time. His children have been dead. A lot of his grandchildren are dead. And yet, we still can't manage to spend all of his money. And how does that benefit the human race? Like, rather than making the Rockefeller Foundation pay for all of our public broadcasting, couldn't we instead just, all get a tote bag, for pledging during the pledge drive? Like, couldn't we do it that way? Come on. Let's be reasonable. Because if all of us had a little more to spend... Oh, shoot, I put my carrots away. Oh, well, sorry, pigs, you're not getting fed today. But, if we all... stay. Yeah. But if we all had more money because we weren't, giving it up to billionaires who don't need it, your Jeff Bezoses and your, guys who these days are just shooting themselves into space, Elon Musk's, etc. Like, what do they really need with our money? And you look at their personal fortunes. Jeff Bezos made so much money that he could lose half of it and still be more obscenely rich than anyone ever should be. And it's really the sort of thing that makes me go a little bit crazy. And I'm not saying that, like, I'm not saying that he did anything necessary. Like, there is the quote that behind every great fortune is a great crime, and certainly, like, there's something. Okay, leave me the frig alone. You guys are driving me bananas. Anyway, but yeah, behind every great fortune is a great crime, and I believe that is more often than not the case. It's not that rich people are, thieves, liars, terrible people in their very nature, but I'll tell you what they're definitely not. They are definitely not the super moral, titans of industry as they are painted in Ayn Rand novels. That is not what they are. I'll tell you that for free. That is not a part of this paid broadcast. Made possible by the John D. Rockefeller Foundation. Just kidding. I might be able to get sued for that. Rockefeller had nothing to do with this. I shouldn't have used his name. I apologize. Don't sue me. He doesn't need more money. He's dead. Like, but yeah, you think about, like, and I know what the response to this statement is. You say, how is it that a person can have so much money that accountants will be trying to spend their money for the rest of, eternity, really? And how is it that that's okay when we can also have a state of affairs? Oh, yeah. I'm going to feed their flocks again. Well, let's see if we can slowly build them up over time. Oh, goodness. And just cough into the microphone. That's what the people pay to hear. Anyway. And so, anyway. Ta-da, ta-da, make me more baby sheepies. I wish I could, feed you more than once. But I can't. Yeah. What do polar bears eat? What? There was a popping sound. I know he doesn't eat. I know for a fact that he doesn't eat. I don't have any fish on me. Otherwise, I'd feed him fish. I do have a fishing pole. Let's see. I feed their polar bear. I don't want to, like, mess with it. I've just never interacted with polar bears in Minecraft, so kind of curious as to what they do. Oh, I wonder if they have to have, like, fish around, because I'm fishing, but you used to not be able to see the fish in Minecraft, but now you can see them. Yeah, my bobber's not going under, so maybe I'm not gonna catch. Oh no, caught a pufferfish. Okay. Oh, and there's fish over here. Dingus. Oh, come on. What? Yeah, I know how to fish. Anyway. Hey. Don't just watch my bobber sitting there bobbing. Go bite that hook. I wanna be your friend. Do it. Do it. Do it. Come on. Come on, I say. Orale! There we go. Yes, bear. Do you like raw cod? Do you... Oh, I'm eating it. I don't want to hit you with it. Here, if I cue this, will you eat it? I guess not. I mean, I thought polar bears ate fish. I don't have any baby seals for you to eat, polar bear. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They just left you tied up in front of their house forever and ever. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Anyway, I'm going to build these pumpkin walls up really tall. Make me a vaulted ceiling pumpkin mansion or something. I don't know. Still don't know what the end game is there. But should be interesting nevertheless. Anyway, people, I'm not going to let this one stretch out like I let the last one stretch out. We're going to try and keep it to a reasonable amount of gameplay. Because I've riffed, I've crafted, and oh, that sounds like, yeah, biggin. Come here, biggin. Come here, you. Come here, chunkster. I never realized until now that little hearts come out, which, like, obviously they're using that for, like, I'm draining the life's blood of the slime, but you know, normally you'd think, oh, maybe I needed salmon for the polar bear. Anyway, regardless. But yeah, the hearts, I talked about how they used to be. How they used to be for, huzzah. Anyway, so yes, the hearts used to be for breeding animals. When you would breed animals, they would make hearts, and that's how you would know that these two have successfully bred, and you would not need to feed them anymore. Yeah, this thing's getting more and more crowded. Little pufferfish. Do I have salmon, cooked cod? Anyway, so we're gonna draw this thing to a close, but oh yeah, my D&D campaign. We got to introduce ourselves. We got to introduce the world in which the story is going to take place, and they met a man, a strange man, traveling merchant on the road. Well, merchant's not the right idea because he doesn't sell his wares, he gives them away, which immediately made the more experienced players, they were just immediately like, nope, no thank you, we do not want. And which is funny because you know, it honestly, oh, let me clear this out before I forget to do it, because I need, my shovel is almost dead. And there's still more water from somewhere else. Anyway. But yeah, oh, I don't even know if this is a part of the original, like, I didn't plant this gravel. This is part of this little mini cave. Well, let's see if there's anything interesting up here. Why not? Why not? Anyhow, so it's gonna break. Clunk. Yeah, called it. So, let's do it with torches, which bugs people. They'll be like, yeah, make a shovel. Yeah, I don't have a crafting table up here, and I'm too lazy to go to my crafting table. Anyway, I won't clear out the whole thing, I suppose. Really? No resources? Not even iron. Like, oh, flint. That's what I was waiting for. Gonna build me some arrows. There we go. Oh no, I do see some iron. So perhaps my complaints were not well founded. Perhaps I was just, complaining for complaint's sake. I have been known to do that. Like a good complaint. Oh, nothing better. Makes you feel alive. Complaining. Nothing quite like a good complaint. Oh, anyway. So yeah, this man, he's not a traveling merchant in D&D, giving away his wares for free. But they are all magical items that need to be magically attuned. And not only do they need to be magically attuned, but they need to be identified. And yeah. So yes. The items need to be identified, and what they, what some of the more experienced players already suspect and perhaps know is that these magical items may not be what they appear. Ooh, a twist in the tale. We're kind of starting out with a twist. But we're gonna do something fun with it. It's gonna be a lot of fun, this campaign, and it's really interesting because there were only 2 people there who were there last year when we were playing D&D. Everybody else is new, and it would seem like here's the part that I'm really interested in is that goodness. I feel sneezy and wheezy. Ugh. I feel like I've got a sneeze that I can't get out, just stuck in my nostril. It's an unpleasant sensation. Anyway, but yeah, my strategy gaming club, even though I only have a couple of original members, people have heard, people have seen, people have wanted to join, and the fact that we play D&D means that people who have never played D&D but have always wanted to are like, ooh, I would like to, give this a go, because it is very much not the same as, they've all played Skyrim, and I used that as a comparison early on, like, oh, okay, if you played Skyrim, then you understand the concepts, some of the concepts of, character building and, fantasy world and, that kind of stuff. But we're really trying to not turn them into grabby-grab murder hobos, because when you get grabby-grab, it's not ideal. So, yeah. It's one of the downsides of playing with teenagers sometimes is that they can get so invested in, turning everything. I've talked before about the loot train episode of Adventure Time, about how, like, that really is the way that some people play D&D, and you can play it that way. You can loot train all you want and just have it be an endless search for more and bigger and better loot. Or you can have it be an entire fantasy world where you could do anything. Because you can loot. You can get loot in, some super, super old, You could go back and play like, wait, did I get my? Oh, I did. You can go back and you can play role playing games on PC, on consoles from 20, 30 years ago, and you have loot and you have character development and all this stuff like the early Final Fantasy games, for example. You have character development. You're building your character up over time. You have experience points. You have that kind of advancement. You're in a fantasy world. You have an entire large map to explore. But the thing is that your options in Final Fantasy, especially the early ones, were really limited, and you couldn't just walk into any bar or tavern and pick a fight, flirt with the barmaid, and just have everything be wide open to you in a way that in D&D you could do anything. You do anything as long as you got the rolls and as long as your DM isn't like no, which sometimes the DM has to be like, no, that's not a good idea. I can't allow things like that to happen in this world. Otherwise, the consequences would be drastic. Would affect all future playing sessions in a way that I'm not prepared to take. So, yeah, that is a choice that you have to make sometimes. But yeah, solid first session, and it sets something up to where when they come back, they're going to want to know, like, what are these items? I got this ring and it's shiny and it's magical. What does it do? Oh, they'll find out what it do. They'll find out. And then they'll find out why they have it. And, well, not why they have it. They'll find that out for a long time. But they'll find out generally what they need to do with it. And, yeah, it'll be an interesting dilemma. So, and for some of them, much more than others. Just really a lot more than some of the others. So, we shall see. Anyway, well, I think that's gonna do it for this one. Ah, dang it! I added an extra half hour onto the end of this episode when I did not intend to put an extra half hour onto that. Look at that, 137. Dingus, you did it again. Come on, you goober. Why you talk so much? That's why I have a YouTube channel, I guess. Anyway, people, hey, thanks for dropping in, and we will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.